Hello everyone, welcome to this new Talkie Pwnii video. So today will be a different kind of video because this is the first one of a series related to Android hunting. So in this first video, we're gonna talk about how to set up easily and quickly a lab you will be able to use every time you want to hunt on Android programs on this hack. So in background, there is a lot of mobile application. It could be iOS and Android ones. So today we're gonna focus on Android Scrcpy. Many people don't look at Android application in background because it cool seems to be annoying because you need to have a lab, you need to set up everything to run properly. But it's honestly a gold mine because few people are hunting on those kind of programs, and it's very interesting. Just to show you, for example, on hack, only for the public programs, there is a lot of mobile application. You can directly see it into the My Program section, and you can search by scope type mobile application. There is a lot of mobile application you can try to hack. So we are gonna firstly talk about Genymotion, which is maybe not the best solution, but we're gonna start by this one. So Genymotion is a company that allows you to do Android emulation through a desktop application or directly through their cloud. So we're gonna talk about the desktop application. You can basically download it locally on every kind of operating system, in my case Linux. So you will see the first time you download Genymotion, you have to create an account to directly access to everything. So Genymotion need to pay if you are, for example, a company or if you want to unlock every features. So when you log in, just after, you can directly click on create and you can select the device type of your choice. So for example, I'm directly gonna take a Pixel 1, I'm gonna take the Pixel 8. So you have the possibility to specify the version of Android you want, but you can't select the API version. And not all versions are available with the root access, which can be a bit annoying, or which can be sometimes useful, for example, with further application, but we will talk about this later. So for example, if I want to have a rooted device, I will have to use the Android 11 because it's not accessible without paying before. So yeah, it's a bit annoying, honestly. But we'll talk just after about Android Studio, which is completely free and which is made directly by Google. And basically you have the possibility to specify the hardware properties of your choice, so you can select. I recommend you to use the default setup because you don't need a lot to do Android emulation. So for example, here you can see that I have already a Pixel 7. I can directly run it. And as you can see, I have simply my Android here. Genymotion requires you to have the paying version if you are a company or if you want to unlock every feature. For example, with the free version of Genymotion, you can't use the camera by design, you have to pay the module. A cool feature in Genymotion is that you can directly use the JHAP module, which is a module that allows you to have the Google Play Store directly in your phone, which is super cool to directly download application like that. But we will see that you don't need every time to have the Google Play Store to download your application. You can download the application by other ways. So just to show you, I'm downloading quickly the Google the G app. So now I have the G app and I can typically use the Google Play, so I can log myself with my Google accounts. I really recommend you to create a Google account for Black Bounty and don't mix your personal Google and personal data with everything you will do in Black Bounty. Something annoying with Genymotion and emulating in general is that you can't run VRAM if you are on a x86 architecture. So this issue is directly related to QEMU, which is used to do the emulation. So there is a lot of things to, for example, use on ARM APK if you really need to. You can use some translations, and we will see that, for example, with Android Studio, there is an automatic translation from VRAM application to x86. So we are now gonna talk about Android Studio. So Android Studio is designed by Google and is free, so you can directly download the full ADA with everything built into, or you can directly choose to, for example, use the CLI, the command line version. So with Android Studio you can do a lot of things. So in our case we're just gonna use it to do some emulation, but if you need to develop, for example, you have the full IDE which let you build to code an application, compile it, and run it typically in the same place. And yeah, the cool things about Android Studio is that it's completely free. You can directly choose which kind of Android version you want, API version you want to, and you're not limited with a rooted version, for example. So not all are rooted device, which let you able to choose, for example, if you want a rooted one or not. So I have already downloaded the command line version, but in our website you can retrieve a full article talking about how to download it, how to use it, and it's very simple. So I have everything installed already. I'm not gonna install it again. So as you can see, there is a lot of different package you can download with different version of Google, different version of API. So it's very nice because it lets you able to use whatever you want, but you could be a bit lost because there is a lot of things, and yeah, you probably don't know which one take to emulate the proper Android units. So for example, in my article, I'm directly using the Android 30, which is related to the API level 30 with Android 11. So yeah, so you can specify a lot of things, but the easiest way to use it is to use the flag Google API, which is related to debuggable and which lets you have an Android rooted version. And yeah, I'm talking about rooted devices, but maybe you don't know it. It's super important to have a rooted device to, for example, use Frida, which lets you do some hooking, which is a need when you're doing bug bounty, do, for example, do Scrcpy bypasses, rule detection bypasses too, etc. If you're not running on our RAM architecture, you will not be able to specify on our RAM version to SDK manager. You can try, but you will see that QEMU won't run. And yeah, so as I explained in the article, you can see that this is directly related to QEMU. Something pretty cool is that if you really need to, you can run a RAM application by the way of translation, and for example, you can do it with the Android 11 version of this SDK. Yeah, so the performance won't be that bad because it's something recurrent, like when you're doing to when you translate an application from RAM to x86. So after you download the system image of your choice, you will need to create the emulator with avds manager. So all those binary will are directly contained into the SDK. So you have the choice. You can decide to do a snapshot to load the snapshot and over time to continue your work. So just after creating the emulator, you can start it with the emulator binary. And yeah, so you need to specify the name you previously used when you created the emulator. And yeah, this is when you can decide to specify the snapshot or not. And then you can see that now I have my Android emulator ready in like 3 commands, so it's pretty nice and pretty easy. And I really recommend you to use the command line version because it doesn't require a lot of space. And now you can see that I have my Android emulator ready. I really recommend you to use the command line version of Android Studio because it takes less space, but it could be more annoying because you need to do everything on command line, but by my side it's not a problem. But if you don't want, you can use directly the full Android Studio. So here's the full idea of Android Studio. So as you can see at the left part, you have all the projects and you can directly decide to code your mobile application, but this is not what we want to do in this video. So here you can see your devices. So this is the one we just set up before. So on the plus you can directly create your virtual devices and you can do everything graphically without command line. And so you can see that you can specify the API version of your choice. So there is a lot of different one, and you can specify if you want to have the Play Store directly into. So mainly when you have the Play Store in the application, it means that the Android isn't gonna be rooted by design. Just to show you, I'm gonna download quickly a one, and as you can see, I have by design the Play Store because I selected before. So I'm gonna use ADB, which is a package that lets you able to directly communicate by command line with your phone. So you can load, for example, a shell, or you can do a lot of things, but we will talk about that maybe in the next video. We will go deeper about what we can do with ADB because there are so many things and it's super cool. So for example, if I want, I can directly load a shell in my phone. So if I use ADB shell, you can see that I am on the phone, and for example, as you can see, if I want to use the binary issue, it's not accessible because this is not a rooted devices. And if I use ADB shell again with the previous Android we created, you can see that if I use 2, it will work and I will be root because this is a rooted device. So we talk about Android emulation, but in my opinion, it's better to have directly a physical device. So with a physical device, you will see that this is easier to, for example, bypass the root detection, to load directly extension on the phone with, for example, magisk and Genymotion extension. So you won't have any issue with our hand translation with a physical device too. So it's pretty nice. Maybe you haven't seen any RM application, but this is common now with many applications. Like for example, Amazon is only running with RM, so it could be annoying sometimes. So this device is already rooted, and it's a Pixel one, so I'm not gonna root it again. But we will talk about directly with the article we worked previously. Why choosing a Pixel Android to do Talkie Pwnii? It's very nice because the factory images are directly available to Google, so you can download it super quickly, and you can see it directly into the developer website of Android. So to start, you will firstly need to unlock the bootloader, so you can do it super quickly in the setting of your phone, and you will need to unlock the fastboot too. And so to root the device, I am using magisk. So with magisk, you will need to patch your Android image. So you will first need to download your image, so you can do it in the developer website of Android. And to patch it, this is super easy. Honestly, you don't really need to do anything. You just need to use magisk. Everything is explained in the article, and yeah, as I said, this one is already rooted, so you can do it with the article. You have every comments. When your image will be patched, you will simply need to flash it into your phone with the fastboot Pwnii. So when you patch it boot with the flash, you will be able to put on the phone. So when everything will be flashed in your phone, you will be able to reboot, and you will see that you have the magisk application on your phone. So something really cool is that you can directly display your screen phone into your computer with the package called Scrcpy, I guess for Scrcpy. So as you can see now, my screen is directly displayed indirect on my computer, which is super cool. And I can even write everything I want with my keyboard, so it's very nice. You won't need to do everything by the screen of your phone. So that's very cool, to have a quick rooted device and use a cool extension. So sorry, I can't show you my analysis because this is some accessible application, but for example with Pokemon, you can see that I selected the deny list, which make magisk hidden from the application, and which help you to have easy, and which make easy the root detection bypass. So if you want to go deeper, you can have a look to the article you wrote on esvhack.com. So yeah, so as I told you, with Genymotion and magisk, you can use a lot of different modules. So yeah, so you can do, for example, some root detection bypass, SSL pinning bypass too, but you can do more. For example, with the Genymotion refilter plugin, you can directly use refilter in the phone. And so if you don't know refilter, it's a super cool framework that it's able to patch any filter application to let you able to intercept the traffic of the application, because you can't do it as a casual usable Java application. So yeah, so that's nice. You can do it directly in your phone with the Genymotion. Okay, so now that you have your rooted device through, for example, emulation or physical device, you will need to understand how to intercept the traffic of your application. So as I said multiple times in this video, mainly applications are having SSL pinning, which is basically a protection that restricts the use of a proxy. So in a lot of applications, you will need to do SSL pinning bypass to be able to intercept the proxy of your application. And to do that, you can use, for example, FIDA, as I explained, and we will focus more about that in the next video. So to intercept the traffic of your application, before talking about SSL pinning bypass, root detection, etc., you need to set up everything. So I'm downloading the certificate of Burpsuite. So I have already the certificate installed on my physical device, but to do it is super easy. You will just need to patch it on your local phone. So to do that, you can use ADB patch and specify the path you want. And after, we just need to go into the settings, security, instant runtime merge, and you can select your certificates into the certificate CA section. And that's basically all. So after, you will need to configure the proxy with ADP again. So you will have to specify your host mentioned IP, so you can retrieve it super easily with your IPA commands. And then you will need to go into your proxy option and specify npine and click on pine to all interfaces. And if you don't do that, it will only listen to your local host, so you won't be able to intercept the traffic of your phone. And that's all for today. With this video, you are now able to set up your Android lab quickly with an emulated device or typically with a physical one. So as I said, I would recommend you to use a Pixel 1 because it is easier. And as you saw, it's very easy to directly configure your proxy to intercept directly the request from your phone to the server. But as I explained, now many applications are having SSL panning and root detection. You will be limited quickly, and that's why in the next video we're gonna talk about FIDA, metadata, and how to basically bypass all those things quickly to be able to earn on many applications. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any kind of recommendation, as usual, feel free to comment. If you want to see something specific, or if you have any specific question about Android hunting, feel free to comment. In the next video, we're gonna talk about how to bypass those detection and how to do hooking quickly with FIDA and FIDA culture, for example. In the video after, we're gonna talk about exploitation. So yeah.